Hey guys, and welcome on into the next NHL season, off-season preview show. It's Terry back again here to break down the Minnesota Wild. Of course, the team that I follow on a day-to-day basis, my favorite team, the team I'm most knowledgeable about. So we're going to break down what the Wild's off-season looks like. Make sure if you like the video, hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're a Wild fan, definitely hit the subscribe button. Would appreciate having more Wild fans on the channel. But we're going to jump right into it here. And we're going to start with the first segment, which is taking a look at the draft picks that the Wild have for this upcoming draft, as well as current management. And then I'll talk a little bit about offer sheet capabilities. Draft picks, as you can see, the Wild have their second round pick this year. They have their sixth round pick this year. They have Toronto's fourth, and they have Columbus' fifth round pick. But they do not have a first, a third, or a seventh round pick this year. Of course, Guerin going out and making the trade to get Jiricek, giving up the first round pick, making some other trades as well. So at this current time, no first round pick for the Wild. That could change though, heading into the draft, which we will talk about a little bit more in the next segment. So looking at offer sheet capabilities, if you guys haven't seen the first two shows that I did for Utah and for Detroit, both of those teams have full offer sheet capability. They could offer sheet any player that they want in the NHL. The Wild, though, are a little bit different. So players, if they were to sign a player over $11.7 million, they would have to give up 4 first-round picks, but they would be able to do that. So if they wanted to go and sign a guy like Mitch Marner, Mitch Marner's a UFA. They wanted to go and sign an RFA. They could, but would have to be over $11.7 million, $193. They would have to give up 4 first-round picks, as I said, to that team. They're not able to sign a player between 9.3 to 11.7 million because they don't have the draft picks available. They can't sign a player between 7 to 9.3. So basically, they can't sign a player between 7 to 11.7 million dollars because they do not have the draft picks available over the next few years. They can sign a guy between 4.6 to 7 million, and then obviously the lower capabilities they can for a player under 2.3 million, but they can't between 2.3 to 4.6. So the Wild have some restrictions when it comes to the offer sheet capabilities. I don't really know if Bill Guerin is going to be one of those GMs that goes and signs a guy to an offer sheet. I think Guerin will be more active at the trade in the trade market as well as free agency, which we'll get to here up in the next segment. So Bill Guerin, general manager for the Wild, John Hynes, head coach. No vacancies to fill there, so not something we have to go into deep detail about. Other teams, of course, have vacancies. The Wild don't when it comes to Bill Guerin and John Hynes. Free agents. The Wild currently have a projected $16.5 million cap space available to go and sign a couple players in free agency or one big player. Well, when you look at the free agents for the Wild here, I'll be really quick with the bottom 3. Marcus Johansson, Gustav Nyquist, and John Merrill. Thank you for your years of service, but of course, Nyquist has only been here for a little bit, 2 times. But you 3 can go off and find new teams. Nothing personal. It's just 3 UFAs that the Wild can move on from and that won't be eating cap space. When we look at the RFAs, Marco Rossi is interesting. So I am one of those people that do not want to see Marco Rossi get traded. The fact that he was on the fourth line during the playoffs kind of sends a message to me. And now, of course, John Hines basically said that it was just kind of the best spot for him to help bring offense to the fourth line kind of type thing. But Marco Rossi is not a fourth line center. He is a smaller, speedy, skilled center. He's a top six center. He is not a fourth liner. So that's just not his role. And of course, there's been heavy trade rumors with Rossi for a while now. So while I do not want to see Rossi traded, I do stand by Bill Guerin. There's a lot of Wild fans that want Guerin fired. I'm not in that camp. I stand by what he and, of course, head scout Judd Brackett decide to do. If they want to move on from Rossi, then I will wait to see what the return is before I give any kind of judgment there. I would be happy to see Rossi re-signed to even a bridge contract, a few years, a 3-year deal or short-term type contract. I don't expect to see the Wild sign Rossi to an 8-year deal. That would really surprise me at this point. But could Marco Rossi receive an offer sheet from another team? That would be very interesting to see if that would happen. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens this offseason. Declan Chisholm, RFA defenseman. I think it really depends. His future here at the Wild, I really think depends on what Marco Rossi. It kind of depends first on Marco Rossi if he's getting re-signed. If he is getting re-signed, then Declan Chisholm maybe finds a new home. He maybe gets traded somewhere. If the Wild want to add somebody in free agency, if they add a couple guys in free agency, the money might not be there for Chisholm. And really, I do like Declan Chisholm, but the Wild will get to their defense core in a little bit. I don't know if there's a lot of room for Chisholm right now. So if Bill Guerin does decide to trade Marco Rossi, we'll kind of discuss some of the rumors shortly about that. But if he does decide to trade Rossi, I would look at trading Chisholm as well in kind of a package or deal to maybe go after a bigger type player. So that's basically the Wild's free agents for this upcoming summer. It has been a long time, and I almost forgot to mention that. It's been a long time since the Wild have headed into a summer with double-digit cap space. This team has been in cap hell for a few years now with the Zach Parise and Ryan Suter buyouts. And I would like to say that the buyouts are completely over and done with now, but that is not the case. The Wild are still having to pay $2.7 million this year and $1.66666 million the next few years. But $2.7 million is a lot better than the $14 million they've been having to pay the last few years. So while not 100% gone, it feels like they're pretty much gone, those buyouts now. So the Wild have some cap space to work with. If they do look at trading Marco Rossi, if they trade him for some draft picks, maybe they want to add in the draft, then they would have quite a bit of cap space to go after some top free agents. The forward group, as we head into the summer, currently Kirill Kaprizov, Joel Eriksson, Matt Boldy, the top line. Of course, in depth projections, we could see Boldy and Kaprizov split up depending on what the Wild does in free agency. I could see the lines being balanced a little bit more with maybe Boldy on the second line. But if the Wild don't add in free agency and this is the lineup the Wild are looking at forward group wise, then yes, I would stick with that top line: Eriksson, Kaprizov, and Boldy. Marco Rossi, Marcus Foligno, and Matt Zuccarello projected to be the second line at this current moment. I would like to see the Wild add. So we'll get to more of what I think the Wild should do, but they need to, if they're keeping Marco Rossi, I still think they need a top six winger. If they're going to be trading Marco Rossi, then I really think they need to get a top six center. And then if they get a good top six center, like a guy like Sam Bennett, which we'll talk about a little bit more, definitely a guy that I think Bill Guerin would want to go after. And Sam Bennett, kind of exactly the type of guy I would like to see the Wild add in free agency. But if they went and got a guy like Sam Bennett and traded Marco Rossi, then maybe you could see Liam Ogren go to the second line, or Danila Yurov, who I have on the third line here. The depth charts had a little bit different. They had him as a winger, but Bill Guerin has already said that he intends to start Yurov out as playing as a center. So we would expect to see Yurov as a center. And yeah, actually, he's not even on the projections at all. So I added him onto here. While Yurov is a top six center or a top six forward, I guess you should say, I don't know if this year, unless he comes out and has Calder type numbers and just really starts off on fire, I don't know if he starts on the second line. I think more likely he's probably on the third line. So I kind of switched up the bottom two lines with what Puckpedia is the site I used. Cap Friendly is the old site. I'm sorry, guys. Puckpedia is the site I used for these projections for the shows. I switched it up a little bit here. I would have Liam Ogren playing with Danila Yurov and Ryan Hartman. Ogren, Danila Yurov, more offensive and both younger players. You've got Ryan Hartman there beside them. I think that would make a very interesting line. Yakov Trenin, Frederick Gaudreau, and Vinny Nostroza on the fourth line. Riley Height and Hunter Haight, both two young centers. They're going to be trying to impress in camp and try to get a spot on this roster. And it's not that I don't want them to. I would kind of rather the Wild go and make some additions here. I do like this roster. I don't like Marcus Foligno on the second line. The Wild need to add some guys, which is the perfect segue into the next segment here, which is taking a look at some of the free agents, wingers. If the Wild are keeping Marco Rossi, if they're not going to trade him, if they're going to re-sign him, you move Marcus Foligno down to the third line and you sign a guy like Nikolai Ehlers. I think Nikolai Ehlers would be a perfect addition to the Wild, top six left winger. I think he would be perfect. Perfect addition. Of course, he's going to be heavily sought after if he doesn't decide to re-sign with the Jets. Brad Marchand, while it would be it would be really weird to see Brad Marchand in a Wild jersey. I would kind of enjoy it. I think it would be fun to watch. The issue, though, with that, he's 37, and most likely he just scored a goal last night. Obviously, for the Panthers against the Canes, he is in this Stanley Cup run. If Florida does go on and win the Stanley Cup again, I could see Brad Marchand resigning in Florida. So I don't know if he's going to be a guy that really goes out and gets a high contract. I think he could potentially stay with Florida. Jamie Benn, I can't see him leaving Dallas. Jonathan Drouin would be an interesting addition. I'm not sure if he's the kind of guy Guerin would like to go after. And the other two guys would be more of third line. For me, they're not really top six guys. Kuzmenko obviously played a top six role, but I would prefer, when it comes to this list, Nikolai Ehlers would be the number one guy I would like the Wild to sign. When it comes to trades, obviously there's the big trade rumors with Rossi potentially going to Buffalo. Maybe Buffalo moves JJ Peterka. Maybe Buffalo moves Tage Thompson. I don't see Buffalo moving Tage Thompson. Now, of course, the Buffalo Sabres, year after year after year, continue to make mistakes, which is why they haven't seen the playoffs in 14 years now. So it would not surprise me to see Buffalo make a mistake, and trading Tage Thompson would be a huge mistake. So assuming that Marco Rossi's not traded for Tage Thompson, maybe Marco Rossi's traded, let's say, for JJ Peterka. That kind of fills the left wing spot that the Wild need, but they still need that top six center. Sam Bennett, I already said he's the guy I would want when it comes to a center. 51 points in the regular season, 25 goals, 26 assists, 28 years old. He is a physical center. He is also a playoff performer. What do the Wild need? They need to win in the playoffs. Sam Bennett is that guy. Sam Bennett is that guy. If you add him onto the Wild roster, I think he would be a perfect fit. Ryan Donato, of course, a former Wild player. I don't know if he had a great season last year. 31 goals, 31 assists. I don't know if he repeats that. But then look at who he was playing with Chicago. So I don't know if I want to see a reunion with Donato. Mikael Granlund, obviously, is playing well with Dallas right now. I don't know if we see a reunion with him. I don't know. But really, obviously, there's been rumors of Brock Nelson. I would prefer Bennett. I would really prefer Sam Bennett. And I think Bill Guerin, looking at this list of guys, I think Sam Bennett would be at the top of the list for a general manager like Bill Guerin. Right wingers, of course, Mitch Marner's there. The Wild do have, as I said, $16 million in cap space. They could potentially sign Mitch Marner. Now, of course, if you sign Mitch Marner, that's going to take up most of that cap space. I do think with the cap rising as much as it is the next few seasons, I do think Mitch Marner is going to get a very high contract, which would take up a good portion of that $16 million the Wild have in cap space. Patrick Kane, who is one of the players I hated the most in the NHL for quite a few years. Obviously playing with Chicago for a long time. Could I see him coming over to the Wild in the offseason? I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that. He had a great season last year, but 36, getting up there in age. Brock Besser, there's obviously been rumors of him coming home to Minnesota for a long time now. 28 years old, 25 goals, 25 assists last year, 50 points. I would be interested in seeing Brock Besser come to Minnesota depending on the contract. It would really be the price would really matter for me if the Wild were going to go after him. And then RFAs. As I said, the Wild kind of restricted in the dollar amounts that they can offer an RFA. And I don't know if anyone on this list gets over 11 million. Now, the cap is going up a lot. So we could see some higher contracts with guys here. And a lot of people might think there's guys that are being overpaid. So we could definitely see guys on this list hit over that 11 million, but I don't think so. I think if the Wild are going to get one of these players, there would probably be more by trade. I think it would be by the trade route. As I said, Marco Rossi for JJ Peterka type deal would be really interesting to see. Looking at the Wild's defense core. So we've got Jonas Brodin and Brock Faber, Jake Middleton, Jared Spurgeon. I like that top 4D if it's healthy. If the Wild can stay healthy, that's a really solid top 4 defense group. Zeev Buem, impressing everywhere he goes. I'm really excited to see what he does this next year. Of course, I do want to see him with Faber at some point. I don't know heading into next year if we see him with Faber. I think most likely we would probably see him on that third pair with Zach Bogosian. And then, as I was kind of talking about earlier on in the show, when it comes to Declan Chisholm, David Jiricek, I think, is the next guy up. If someone gets injured, I think David Jiricek, he is a big future here. The Wild gave up quite a bit to get him. So I expect to potentially see him in the lineup if there's injuries, which doesn't leave room for Declan Chisholm, really, unless there's multiple injuries, which unfortunately, when it comes to history, guys like Spurgeon, guys like Brodin, they've gotten injured. So hopefully the defense core is healthy. If it stays healthy for the most part, the Wild don't really need to add anything here. I think they're pretty set when it comes to defensemen. I don't think there really needs to be any deals or any signings made. So yeah, I don't see anyone on this list coming up. Brent Burns, of course, the Wild drafted him. I would be interested in seeing Brent Burns maybe make his return, but I don't think that happens. But if he did, it would really it would fill up that defense grouping. It would probably kind of prevent guys like David Jiricek from getting in the lineup. But maybe Zach Bogosian gets moved to bring in Brent Burns, but no, 40 years old. I don't see Brent Burns coming to Minnesota, but that would be interesting to see him back in a Wild jersey. Goaltenders. Philip Gustafson, starting goalie. Marc-Andre Fleury, of course, retiring. So his spot currently projected, of course, to go to Jesper Wallstedt. Now, Wallstedt has had some struggles in the AHL the last couple seasons. He's had some injuries. Hasn't really looked like that number one future top goalie that he was kind of projected to look like. But he's very young still. Now he will be getting his chance, assuming the Wild don't go and add another goalie. I don't think that Bill Guerin goes and adds another goalie here. With Philip Gustafson, you've got Jesper Wallstedt. If Wallstedt does struggle, you could go and look to get someone during the season. But if they do go and get a goaltender, a third goaltender, we'll take a look at the goalies now. I think it would be looking at getting a guy, obviously, that's cheap. A guy that could potentially be on waivers at different times. I don't see it. I don't see the Wild going after Bill Guerin going after and signing a goaltender. I think the forward group is where the focus should be. I think Jesper Wallstedt's going to do fine. Assuming that Philip Gustafsson stays healthy, I think having Wallstedt in that backup position will be good for him in his first full year of NHL experience. And finally, last segment is off-season tasks. So number one on my list of tasks for the Wild in the offseason is to decide on Marco Rossi's future. This may have already happened. Bill Guerin might have already decided what's going to happen with Marco Rossi, whether he's staying or going. So that may already be decided, but it's something that needs to be decided before the Wild can really look at their offseason. You kind of got to know what you're going to do with Rossi. Of course, the same thing goes with Chisholm. As I said, not a lot of room for him at this point. I could see the Wild moving on from him here in the offseason. Task number 3 is to sign 1 to 2 top 6 forwards. Even if you re-sign Marco Rossi, you still need to add another top 6 forward, whether it be a center like Sam Bennett or a winger like Nikolai Ehlers or Brock Besser. The Wild need another top 6 forward. And then if Marco Rossi gets traded, if you're not bringing in a top 6 forward in that trade, then you've got to get 2 top 6 forwards, I think. And then the final one, what the Wild will be able to do, as I believe as of July 1st, is to sign Kirill Kaprizov to an 8-year extension. Why do the Wild need to do this? Because I am tired of hearing and seeing Chicago Blackhawks fans on Twitter dreaming and praying and posting about how great it would be to see Kirill Kaprizov in a Blackhawks jersey. I think everybody that has watched the channel for the last few years, or even more recent viewers, will know that I absolutely despise the Chicago Blackhawks organization, and there's just no way Kirill Kaprizov is going to go there. If Kaprizov, for some reason, does decide that he does want to leave Minnesota, he's not going to go to a team like Chicago. If Kirill Kaprizov, for some reason, was to leave Minnesota, it would be to go to a team that he thinks can win now, that can have playoff success now. That has been the Wild's issue, is having playoff success. Now, things that I've read suggest that Kaprizov is willing to stay in Minnesota, and that we could see a long-term deal signed early in the summer. So if that is the case, then that just takes a lot of pressure off, obviously, the management. You get Kirill Kaprizov signed to a long-term deal. Just really focus around adding guys to improve the team around Kaprizov, and you don't have to worry about trying to get him re-signed and all that. It's a big worry that would be gone. So those are my 4 off-season tasks for the Minnesota Wild. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned to other teams as we continue to break down all 32 NHL teams. I will have some guests on a few teams, team shows with me. But thank you for watching. And I think it's going to be an exciting offseason to finally see the Wild be involved in free agency instead of just being that team that just doesn't do anything year after year.